Well, good thing I'm gluten free.
The fact that that thing just wobbled. The fact that thing just
I didn't like the way you. Oh no! This is your intro.
It's disgusting. Like,
Yeah, that is.
Wow, I kind of forgot about that.
We got a lot of
We
bugs.
got a lot of bugs.
That's what Warframe.
Well,
There you go.
yeah,
There's the thumbnail.
that's a better intro.
Come on.
And you're adding more bugs to Warframe.
Just that clip.
Now-
We got a lot of bugs.
Now,
Like,
now with extra bugs.
What's
Yeah.
that? Oh,
So
It's our buggiest update yet.
did you not want to fit and complete the entire alphabet A to Z with the letter U?
Why don't you watch TennoCon for information on
Oh.
the letter U?
nothing like baiting. Okay.
Give us something spicy, Rebecca.
TennoCon wouldn't be complete without you.
Oh,
Oh
there we
my
go.
god.
Right. So Ileweaver, is it fair to say that Ileweaver is taking a darker turn than maybe what we'd be used to, considering you've got the new Murmur enemies, you've got Nessie returning, and then you've got the Spider Boss showing up on Scholar's Landing, right? So would it be fair
Yeah,
to say
it's
taking?
much darker.
Is it?
Sorry, continue your question. Yeah.
No. That was basically it. Considering Scholar's Landing was one of the islands that I think was it either Albrecht or the Man in the Wall was on, considering he was given permission by Dominus.
Yes,
So-
there is for the lore hounds. I think there's going to be some rewarding things to find, and if you did read all of the original Duviri lore fragments, there will be some like Leo pointing memes.
Yeah.
But the direction for this update, and honestly for this, well, I won't say more, but you'll see at TennoCon.
Yeah.
We're definitely going back to a more I suppose darker tone, exploring different themes. I think if we do the same themes and tone all the time, you start to pigeonhole yourself. You almost like typecast your updates into like quirky or into something a little less serious. So now it's certainly feeling like we're entering our serious era for quite a while.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice, I guess, to change it all the time so that it doesn't become monotonous or boring or the same kind of tone. So I guess
Exactly.
that would lead a little bit into a question I was going to ask later. So with Scholar's Landing coming back and the lower fragments with that, there was other missing islands. Is there... You're not going to tell me because you probably can't because it would be spoiler related, right? Could we expect other islands at some stage to show up again? I know maybe the one which was a Watcher's Island that had Garmy on it, that had a lighthouse, that's gone because that was possibly attached to Rel. So is there any possibility for other islands?
Every named island and the implications behind them was handcrafted, handpicked for very good reasons, whether things that have already come to pass or things yet to come. This opportunity to bring Scholar's Landing in has a very clear purpose as it pertains to Araxia and the Man in the Wall. And in that regard, I think if we get a chance, from the planning side of things, if people really like going back to Duviri in this capacity, I can imagine us coming back again, or maybe some weird inverse where it gets out and all of a sudden there's like a Duviri island like in the plains of Eidolon and you're like, what the hell? But it really is gonna depend on where this fits in the player's enjoyment, I would say, and we can continue maybe or maybe not.
Because I remember
But yes,
the last time we
yeah.
spoke, Megan did make a joke about the Unum Tower. And then we seen the hole in the sun on that teaser. And it's like, was that actually a joke, Megan? Or was that a...
I'm always joking, so
Yeah.
never take anything I say seriously.
Stop.
This is Megan.
Stop.
She drives me laughing mad, of course.
Right, where was
Can't
I?
blame her for that.
So where did the name Araxia come from? Like, who chose it? Because the last time we spoke, you said that you do allow people to name frames. So is it tied to anything mythological, lore-wise? I do want to ask a bit, because there's the Japanese yokai, which is the Jorogomu, which is half female, half spider, that lures people into a cave. I'm just spitballing here, but who named the frame and where did it come from?
The name came from Pablo's design doc on January 16th of this year, and I thought that we can just go with that name because it was cool. It was
just one of those where it was, let's just go with that.
This dark and twisted mind
Yeah.
of D.E. Pablo.
So Araxia's 8-second passive invisibility, right? Because it was originally she would gain 1,000 health, and then he's changed it to invisibility. Is that flat duration, the 8 seconds, or is it going to be something that you can expand? You can extend the duration of the invisibility with mods, or is it going to be a case where you're going to have to refresh it by constantly kind of wall latching?
I'm going to backtrack a little bit to your comment.
Okay.
One of the many reasons why the information that went out was incorrect.
It was your fault, Megan. You did it wrong.
You
did it.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was you, Megan.
Here.
It was 100% you.
I wasn't even here. No, she is going through just a lot of like ideation and design to really just kind of elevate her to something fresh. And I think Jeff really kind of spoke about this at PAX, where the animation behind her, like, it's all new, it's all trying to be something different, and it's a lot harder than I think we originally thought it was going to be. And we have TennoCon, so we're really trying to do the best we can with Araxia, and she's going through a lot, that girl.
Yeah, because Jeff did mention that maybe her movement wasn't going to be viable, right? The way you weren't going to be able to get the movement working, right? Okay.
Right, and literally today, Pablo sent over V1 of the Araxia like ability showcase video that we're going to put up publicly. So have to review that. But yeah, I think, and Reb mentioned this, I think, on PAX as well. It was like, if everything goes to plan, this will happen. And not everything's going to plan, and that's fine. And we're just trying to pivot and see what we can do. So, versions of maybe what we were cooking with her went out on the website, and then we're like, JK, actually that changed literally yesterday. Like, she's going through it.
Yep.
So
an hour after my video went up.
Exactly. We're like, waiting for Potato, his video's up, he's made his $1, let's change it real quick.
Thank you.
Doesn't hold grudges, don't worry.
No.
The Irish, I tell you. No. So
Oh.
that was a long way to answer your question of, because she's going through so many changes, I don't want to answer that right now.
I get that. So she's probably still going to go through more changes. Yeah. It does say that on the website.
Yeah, we still have a week and a bit, and everything could change tomorrow. Hopefully not. Hopefully what you see on the website is solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just she's going through it, and I'm very excited about her in general and people to play her. And
have you chosen what her subsume is?
Yes, hold on.
Because I don't think that's on the site.
I was just
whatever Megan says is going to change right after this call. So use your timeline.
Fully expect.
It's so passive.
Yeah. Why would you say that, Clark?
No reason.
Do you want to talk?
Huh?
Do you want to talk about it? Do you have a grudge?
No grudge. Nothing.
Megan doesn't know how to. What are you doing, Megan? Do you not know the helmet? Don't say it. What?
That's the problem. Is it might be changing. So.
Right. Okay. So you haven't decided.
I just read up on the conversation.
I told you. The helmet could be anything, I guess, is the truth. It could be anything.
God, there's so many questions I have here for Araxia and the abilities, and now I know that every one of them is going to get the same answer.
I could try and answer some, but...
Right. How many Scuttlers? Is there a limit on how many Scuttlers she can get? Like the spiders she gets from enemies that die?
Anywhere from 0 to 1 million.
You're just trying to destroy people's PCs.
0?
Skill issue.
That's what I'm hearing. 0. Why? Just
Zero. Do you have? I think Megan. I mean, go ahead, Megan. Hit him back with.
You're on the stage, Megan.
Give us a number. Are you guys going to go with like a setting that you can toggle on for arachnophobia mode, and then just turn it into like big blobs and whatnot?
Yeah, because
like
have you not seen that?
Some games that do.
Have you not seen that? Do you know the game where you're
like
shrunk
Grounded
down?
Or something.
Grounded. Yeah, have you seen Grounded?
Is that like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids one?
Yes.
Literally
so
that.
it has an arachnophobia mode where it literally turns the spiders just into blobs. So it's a blob that's chasing you.
Oh,
and that's nearly equally as terrifying.
Can we have a Araxia blob?
My favorite is Lethal Companies, where it just says spider.
Just a text spider.
Yeah.
Just a text spider.
Spider.
Yeah. Wait, had you get that on the time we played it? The time when you fell accidentally into the chasm?
I didn't have it on. I just know it exists.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Such a highlight moment for you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. All right, I got
Megan,
the push.
the
I got the
bullying
push.
that
I got
I
the
was
push
just
Megan.
bullied.
I got the push Megan
I was
into the
bullied
chasm.
entire 2 hours or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so I could actually answer your question.
Okay, the Scuttlers.
Of the Scuttlers, max Scuttlers base is 10.
Does it scale with strength? Can you get
I'm
more?
about to
She
tell
said
you.
base.
I'm
Yeah,
about
that's
to
what
tell
I'm
you.
thinking. Yeah.
Survey says no.
So just 10.
Max 10. Max
Okay.
10.
Okay.
And can I further on top of that? Is it going to be a companion or a summoning?
It's part of your abilities, so it's not like a cat.
Right. So
that make sense?
basically the mods, the companion mods aren't going to benefit.
Like
them.
Summoner's Wrath and whatnot are not going to work. Like
I don't
to
believe
give
so.
in.
No.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, they're generated by you actively killing enemies or
Yeah, so-
attacking enemies in a
So
certain
like
way.
Nidus's maggots in a way.
Similar.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, this one is more target based rather than like. But yes, you got the right idea in terms of what they're doing. Yeah, I guess Nidus's maggots are like the. Well, wait. There's Nidus's maggots, Titania's razor flies, and now
Razorflies,
there's
right?
the
Yeah.
Scuttlers. So we have three bugs.
Yeah, that you could literally. There's your next set of mods. For
What do you
those,
mean?
More bugs.
instead of having companion ones, have ones that just affect the bugs.
Oh my god, we could.
Oh, like a bug
yeah.
class of mods.
Yeah.
I guess Anaros has scarabs for scarab armor.
Yeah.
And scarab swarm.
Wow, I kind of forgot about that.
We got a lot of
We
bugs.
got a lot of bugs.
That's what Warframe.
Well,
there you
that-
go,
yeah,
there's the
that-
thumbnail.
That's a better intro.
Ah, come on. Come
You're
on.
adding more bugs to Warframe.
Just that clip.
Now-
We got a lot of bugs.
now,
Like,
now with extra bugs.
What's
Yeah.
that? Oh,
So
It's our buggiest update yet.
does
That's
she
what will
have
come back to haunt me.
does she have a shield,
does she have?
or is she a health
shield?
based? Is she a health based like tank Warframe, a health based Warframe, or does she actually have?
She
like,
does
shield
have
values?
more health than it. Like her base health is 575. Her shield's 125.
So she does have a shield. Right, okay.
focus more on health.
Yeah, because I thought when the original abilities went up, the passive gave the extra 1000 health, and I thought maybe you were leaning more into the type of like Inaros Nidus with no shield type of
No,
frame.
she got shield. She got shield.
That's weird because like this is how fast things were changing, and
Yeah.
I hope I don't get crucified for this. When I played her on Dev yesterday, she didn't have shield, so I don't know if I just had a different rank, and I
was a
would have
bug.
answered
It
that
was a bug.
question. There was bug. It was bug.
It was another bug.
I would have answered that question extremely differently because my my Araxia build did not have shields, but that was like an outdate dev build.
Yeah.
But this is just the how fast things develop here at Digital Extremes.
So she didn't have shields, but was you level capping with her?
Yeah, I spend all my workday level capping. I actually don't have a lot of work to
So
do.
you're just
I
you're part of the
I
1%.
Yeah, you just level cap everything, right?
Yeah, like I'll spend like
just-
6 hours in the morning doing a level
Oh, I
6
love
hour.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Scaling
Fulfillment.
rewards. Yeah.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, especially on the dev build where I don't get to keep anything. That's why that's the best use of my time is doing
That's
level
my
cap
favorite.
endurance runs on the build. Yeah, okay, so she does have shields on the dev build that I'm playing.
And she
now,
can
so
have
okay.
10 and she can have 10 scuttlers. Does power strength scale the energy drop rate of a first ability or the damage vulnerability of her cocoons?
I'm gonna throw
Say that one more time without an accent.
Oh, fuck you.
I'll translate. He said, I'm sorry. He said,
diddly.
Yes,
actually scale of ability strength, basically.
as of June 12th at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Time, by putting Umbral Intensify on Araxia, my health drop orb percent increased, as did my energy drop orb percent chance.
And the damage vulnerability that enemies get from the cocoons.
From the Cocoon, I don't know if this build had that damage vulnerability also increases with strength at the time of
Awesome.
recording.
Does it say
So-
what the base of the damage vulnerability is?
At the time of recording, it's 50%, and then when I put a simple Umbral Intensify on, it increases to 72% at the time of recording.
Okay.
You wouldn't happen to be build crafting in your mind.
Yeah, he
No,
is.
no,
Of course he is.
no,
Of course
no.
he is. Which leads me to the next question that he was
Numbers?
interested in. The next question he was interested in was her ranged weapons are going to get a toxic buff from her fort, right? Is that a separate element? Or is that going to combine?
Right. So when I think it works like sights, ammos.
So it's a damage instance.
Which is what Clark wanted.
I At the time of recording, I think it does that because that's what my UI and my experience. When I did my 6-hour endurance level cap run,
Yeah.
that's what I noticed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, but I've been known
Subject
to be
change,
wrong.
right.
I've been known to be wrong, rarely though.
At the time of this recording, though, you're right.
At the time of the
Yeah.
recording, I'm
But
right.
everything's subject to change.
Because
That's right.
it's 2 weeks away. We can make a whole Warframe in 2 weeks. So by the time this goes,
Could you?
Yeah, she's probably a
Void Witch,
caterpillar
Void
by
Witch,
now.
Void Witch or Warlock. When are we getting them? You know, when it's made a deal with Wally.
You asked that last time.
I know, and it was interesting. I'm pushing it again.
I do love that. We're getting a clown next.
We already have Voban.
Whoa.
Oh, but is he not? Like, he's got the clown feet.
He has the clown feet and the clown nose on
we
his beret.
There we go.
Hey, Meg, I'm surprised you're not a Vauban main. He's so French, and you're so French pilled right now.
I'm a recent French pill.
Do you know any French?
Do I know French?
Yeah.
Ferme les bouches.
Oh, okay, yeah. What?
Wait, that's
Wait,
just,
isn't that-
what's that asking for?
Shut your mouth.
Oh.
So that is the only one you know.
So you don't have
I
to
know.
insult people.
So it's just the insults. It's just the French insults is what
To
you
be
know.
fair, that's what my teacher was telling me to do in class. So that's how I learned it. I also know because I would
you
reply.
didn't learn it because you're still talking right now and you're yapping. And we need to get to the next question. You know.
Oh my God, I will.
Hey, Taya, take it away.
That's it. Wow.
I'm sorry, Megan. I'm sorry.
Megan.
Now, Clark, this is where you apologize.
I
Cancelled.
just said I'm sorry.
Cancelled.
Can you click on the new augments, the 4 new augments? Could you just leak?
Yeah, give me
couple
a
of
sec.
things? Yeah, that'd
give
be
me a sec.
great.
Oh no! Can you see her?
Yes,
I see her.
yeah, we can. Yeah.
Wow. What?
Oh, you haven't.
my God.
You haven't colored
I'm
it yet.
wondering how many
thankfully.
viewers are also just like leading in like this at the same time.
Right.
Sorry,
So
continue with your
originally,
questions.
Duviri limited us to just drift or combat, but now with Weaver, we're going to be able to bring our full Warframe loadouts. Was there any kind of particular, I guess, feedback or anything that made you make this change, or that there was?
Yes, I think let me see if I can find the original thought. So obviously Duviri was set out to be a very drifter-centric story with drifter gameplay, a little slow focus, but it still had peaks and valleys of core Warframe in it. So what we wanted to do, I think we did the first prototype like 1.5 years ago, which was what if we did an update dedicated to Duviri, but with take the pieces of it, like the roguelike, but make it just Warframes, just so that people that didn't really like the drifter gameplay had a different way to get some of the Duviri experience. And we realized we had all of the, I will say, correct reasons to do it for the narrative to support it, because it's there's one way to do it randomly and just be like, hey, you can use Warframes in Duviri now. And now we had a very, very obvious, maybe it's obvious. I guess maybe, I don't know, but it was a mechanical experiment and choice done as a result of, Duviri being out for a few years and people wanting to play it a little differently. So yes, feedback, but also story, and it's also fun.
What about decrees? So are we going to be getting decrees with the new thing as well for our Warframes?
There's no new decrees in this update, but it'll just be that, you know what I mean? Like you go in and you're playing Duviri, there's just no drifter gameplay. So you get the decrees, you get the selection at the beginning, you can still earn intrinsics, like it's that.
Oh, nice one.
To clarify, we can switch to operator still.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, when I say no drifter gameplay, I mean no melee drifter.
Yeah.
Duviri mode. What you can do is whoever you have equipped is coming for a ride. So you can do your Zeraman. You can do your Naramon. You can do your, well, I guess people like Matteribe and all that stuff. So yeah.
Is it going to be randomized loadouts where we can go in with what we want, or are we going to have to select
random?
Oh, it is random. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's literally Duviri with Warframes.
That actually kind of leads me into one of the questions that me and Clark were talking about earlier. You've already got Periphery. Who's next in line?
Oh my god, we got
Sleep
dreams.
Token. Have you reached out to Sleep Token yet?
I actually have a much bolder scheme that I sent in a DM to manifest. Not that Sleep Token is the boldest scheme of all, but I don't want to get my hopes up. But my other scheme is much more advanced, actually.
Oh, nice
Can
one.
you give us a hint?
Yes, because it's never going to happen, so I can just talk about it openly.
Oh,
so,
go on then.
you know how there's some people in Hollywood that are like, we really want to work with female directors, and they're like, yeah, I really want to do movies. Like, for example, Nicole Kidman. So Nicole Kidman, if you're watching this,
That's ambitious.
That's very ambitious.
Yeah.
My scheme, my reasoning is if are people that I'm obsessed with, Nicole Kidman, that are like, oh yeah, like I want to do more things with female directors. They never specified Hollywood directors, and I am a female director, so I think like by virtue of quota, she's eventually going to run out of female directors to work with, so she has to work with me.
Process of elimination.
Process of elimination.
Literally until she gets to the bottom of the barrel. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's nice and musty down here, Nicole Kidman. Eventually, you're going to run out of female directors to work with. I'm right here. You didn't specify.
Clark wants it.
But that was your intro. Like, just it's nice and musty down here, Nicole Kidman, and
been
then
so
straight
many.
into the video. Like,
But do you see the vision?
Yeah.
sure.
All right, Valkyr, talk to me.
So
This
Clark.
is such a weird time to introduce our special guests. Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
come on in.
Yeah. She walks in. She walks in the door behind Clark. All right, boys.
Is Gavin there too? With the whole family?
Yeah. So Clark has had a chance, right? Clark had a chance to go hands-on with Valkyr with the testing, okay? So he knows much more of the specifics than I do when it comes to what she was like before and eventually the changes you've given to her because of that feedback. We's kind of in any way surprised about the kind of backlash that she might have received for the changes, considering she has such a low usage stat every year, but yet there seemed to be like a much larger, I guess, chunk of the player base giving out about Hysteria and that disappearing, or is it something that you're kind of used to now when changes happen?
I don't think, like, again, personally for me, I was not surprised at like the reaction of taking away the invulnerability. I think I said this already, but like I had the exact same reaction when our designer, like I gave our designers what, because they came to me and were like, what don't you like about Valkyr? And I just gave a list. And that was also from feedback that I'd seen like players as well and whatever. And then when they came back to me and told me we're doing this, but by the way, we're taking away invulnerability, I literally clutched my pearls and I was like, but why? Like I didn't also understand. And I sound like a broken record when I say this, but it really is on paper, it's alarming. Gameplay wise, you obviously get the vibe and the feel, and I don't know if Clark wants to back me up on that or anything, but it's like seeing the words "she is no longer invulnerable," like that's a shock and that's a hard pill to swallow. Whereas when you play it and you actually mod around it and you realize, okay, I have to actually do gameplay to get success. That to me is so much more fun than press 4. You can take a breath but then suddenly Pablo said it perfectly. I have to run into a closet so that I don't die if there are
when it runs
enemies
out,
around. That does not happen anymore. Like it's a different vibe, and I obviously support it. And I gave I'll say the word harsh in a nice way feedback to our designers when I was like not feeling it, because they wanted me to be honest. They were like, we know you play her. We know you're very passionate about her. So straight up, like, tell me what you do and what you don't like, and we'll talk about it. Like, they didn't shy or beat around the bush about it, and neither did I. Because I think one of the biggest things I know for me was I wasn't a fan of Ripline for a longest time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we got to make, like, that needs to be something way better. And it's different now, and we're here. And yeah, I don't think it was a shock. I wasn't surprised when I saw the initial reaction. And I think one of the downsides to obviously kind of announcing that more than a month in advance of when they could actually play it is then all players can do is like stew on it and they can't get their hands on it to play it. So that was a bit of a downer because I truly, really believe in it. And obviously when it comes out and people can play it, we're still listening, and we're still, Pablo said there are some tweaks that can be made if they're not vibing with it, and we'll just roll with the punches on that. But it's it's shocking on paper, and to have your hands on it is where the feedback can come in for that. That makes sense.
That's very good.
Clark, back me up.
No, don't. Dissent.
Descent. Oh my goodness. No, I've already messed about with her, and I'm actually kind of, some people are going to say glazing or whatever and so forth, but it's the end of the day, what is it that we're really looking to do? And if it's basically Steel Path, and if it's EDA and ETA, and that's kind of like the generalistic expectations of what the average gamer is going to do within Warframe, then she handles it pretty with ease in her current state changes.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of removing her invulnerability from her fourth means for those people who didn't enjoy the stance on her fourth and putting it to a passive can now even take her fourth off if they didn't like it, while still also keeping that melee oriented gameplay. So personally, I thought it was pretty well done. And I didn't get you buff Ripline when I finished working with it, but it's got even more range now, and it feels pretty nice. And I didn't think that you guys were gonna make Ripline work.
You had tested around Ripline, right?
Yeah, I did a Ripline build around her. I had a couple of bugs with the bugs. I had a couple of Araxia was in her build apparently. I had a couple of bugs with her passive where if you subsumed Hysteria off, her passive wouldn't go up, and it was like, oh, I have to go and report that.
Totally. And that's what we wanted, right? It was, that was the vibe.
No. But no, I'd love in terms of quality of life, the thing that I think players will instantly notice is the recast on her seconds and the movement on her seconds.
Yes.
It instantly feels so much better. Plus, you don't need to run Eternal War anymore. It's now an option to run Eternal War, which opens her kit up even better. So that's what I like.
My favorite augment, my first augment that I fell in love with.
Yeah, but now because you can Warcry.
Eternal War.
Because but now because you can recast it, you don't need it, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's not that you don't need it. I think it works better in like lower duration builds where you can still sustain it and you can kind of hurt your duration but still keep it refreshed without you having to recast, because you have like low efficiency. Recasting is also going to go and hurt, but I think it's a nice option now is what it is, rather than it being like a necessity.
But now, like you
said,
you
bringing up...
No, go on.
Sorry. You bringing up like EDA and ETA and like those really high level stuff, like that definitely was a huge focus for this rework, because if we were to make any changes and you bring her into that scenario and she dies in 2 seconds, then we failed. Like that was never the point. And so then we're just like, we gotta crank it to the max. Like and this sounds silly, but it's like we gotta make her God mode without having that invulnerability God mode, and that's where I feel she is now.
Yeah, but now she has the 5 seconds. She's the 5 seconds of the vulnerability. She can still also have shield gate if she wants. So she has that kind of loop where she's going to be hard as hell to basically kill, right?
Yeah, like if you're actively playing, you're alive. Like, and that's the base of it, right?
Yeah, that's the issue with Oberon, isn't it?
Wow, catching strays? What are you?
There's no active playman there, but he survives in my arsenal, so it's fine.
You haven't subsumed him completely yet?
Just permanently subsumed.
Yeah, he's
just
a flower.
Insult the children of a mother to their face? Let us.
Absolutely.
Like without question.
Yeah, so I told Megan to shut up. You're calling my goat ugly, and now
if I can quote back, she told me to shut up in French.
That is true.
I said shut your mouth. I feel like that's.
But is that not the same thing?
That is crazy.
It's giving different vibes.
Yeah, it's just like Valkyr. We took away invulnerability, but we added God mode. It's
So
tomato tomato.
I was going to just lean into the fact that made us take a broader look at health tanking in general, because of the larger discussion that came out when he's announced that she was going to be a health or a heavily armor based frame, and you're getting rid of the invulnerability, which meant you were going to leaning more into the tanky side of things, and it doesn't scale as well as shield gating builds do, even though the shield gating guys that do level cap are just the minority, I guess, in the Warframe community, and the majority of us just go to EDA and ETA. So has it made you look at health tanking? I know you wouldn't be doing it this year, but like say next year or whatever.
I think like I think it's safe to say it definitely ignited that conversation because it's not one that we've crossed recently, and Valkyr is what Valkyr is, and you're very right in saying like don't expect anything other big swing and aisle weaver or anything like that that relates to that.
Yeah, because he's a Tau at the end of the year.
No, actually, we have a collaboration with Nicole Kidman. Yes, that's right.
Nicole Kidman and Sleep Tokens. Crazy year. Crazy
together.
Year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, so
Intel.
it makes the topic awareness increase for sure. Valkyr being step one into how that plays out, and then we'll see from there. No promises though. Pablo will smite me worse.
Yeah, because like you're bound to have the rest of this year completely planned out, right? With TanoCon, and then the update's going to come at the end of the year, like it normally does, and then leading into next year, you probably have that planned as well, right?
The whole year is planned out. Like, there's no room for anything else. Potato.
Dinosaur frame, shark frame.
Other than Nicole.
The only way we would change our plans is if Nicole Kidman got involved, because she wanted to continue her pledge to work with more female directors. So that's just the fact.
So someone needs to send this to Nicole Kidman.
Pretty mad.
So Clark's already mentioned Oberon. Is there any sign of another rework? Not saying Oberon, but before, is there other frames in line for reworks before the end of the year, or is that something that's just on the long finger now?
I think just to expand to Megan's sort of like health answer about, probably nothing this year. We're looking at it. The conversation is active. If you kind of look at Warframe as a map of the globe, and you look at like the current peak record temperatures in different regions, that it's the same people doing everything, right? It's not like, so it really always is a matter of, okay, this is just hypothetical. This is hypothetical. Okay, if we wanted to target an Oberon rework or a health tanking review, we can only do one. Which one? And when I say we can, like this year, we could only do one. So which one are we going to pick and why? And it is very much like a trial, like a pros and cons. Make a case for each. Which one would be better? What one have the players been asking for? And we have record, we have historical records of every part of the globe, peak temperatures, historic lows, historic highs. And if you look at that, it's like, okay, well, the health tanking conversation only really picked up temperature because of the Valkyr incident, which means that it spiked in temperature, but it hasn't sustained that heat, whereas something like Oberon has been
consistent
warming up. Exactly. So you have to look at the, I guess, like the ecology of Warframe health and make decisions with the very limited resources we have to do so, and go from there. So you ask Oberon, I tell you a very obtuse metaphor about the globe, and as a result, I tell you the globe keeps spinning, and we'll pick something and talk about it when we're ready. But it's not random. It's calculated. Yeah.
So how come was Valkyr prioritized over a frame like Oberon? What drove that decision?
The Valkyr one was, I would say, like a sleeper warming or like a sleeper freeze, where the climate around Valkyr hadn't been great for a lot of reasons, and oddly enough, it was a lot to do with Ripline, because it's just, it could have been so much better, and it felt like something we could have made better quickly. So sometimes you can deploy a revisit if you know exactly what you want to do. So
I was going to say, I wondered if it happens just to fit the criteria at the time, it's easier to tackle rather than looking at the longevity. Like if you need to tackle more things in Oberon's kit, you just push them back a little bit later and have more of a discussion and so forth and so forth. I'm off my mind right now.
He actually is. He's dealing with his hay fever right now. You're lucky he can even talk. He couldn't breathe half an hour ago.
Clarendon is not.
I was actually crying about 2 hours ago because it was like genuinely tears streaming from my face. My medication's kicked in. I was just so excited to be here,
Oh yeah, you seem real excited.
I mean, look at this face. Like, glowing, beaming with radiation right now. I'm so hot.
I thought that was just the light.
Oh yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Right. So, new player, I guess that you are also streamlining the new player experience with the Al Weaver update as well, right? You've mentioned basically how you're making. Fuck, where are my enemy questions?
Where are your fucking questions?
Stop that.
Keep it in.
Yeah. I'm cutting that bit out. How are you
Where
making
you
sure that
have
new
it?
Tenno aren't overwhelmed when they hit, I guess, Duviri? Because you're streamlining it to make them get to the new content sooner.
Well, we had a metaphor, and I won't use a globe this time. I'll use a swamp. We called them time swamps, and I think in this case, the biggest change players will see is the junction repathing, where they don't need to go where they don't need to go. We're not taking anything away, we're just repathing. So instead of doing, 3 laps that take a kilometer, we're making it more as the crow flies with the junction order, which I think was the most meaningful, like, minute per minute gain for players of how they spend their time to get to the core story content. That, of course, some of the tasks are just more applicable to Warframe these days. So rather than relying on RNG for some of the tasks to get, or like pick up amounts of things like Rabido, it's just a little bit more do the thing rather than figure out what the thing is you need to do, then do it. Although there still is that discovery, because we don't want it to be a prescription list. Like, for instance, a hay fever prescription. We want it to be more of a, find
You don't want to make it too complex, but you also don't want to hold their hands. So it's got to be streamlined somewhere in the middle.
slap that hand away, but hold it a little.
So you've reworked Vor, the boss fight, to make him more dynamic for new players. Have you looked at it? Is this going to lead to other older bosses also getting any in
If you
particular?
say the sergeant, I'm
I never mentioned any name.
I'll quote. He's been mentioning Sergeant all day to me today. I will throw it. I'm snitching. I'm snitching.
I have seen people running over Sergeant with the bikes. That guy has been tormented.
You want to take that away from the players? This just in tactical potato.
Let it be known.
Do you know what I did say to him? Do you know what would be hilarious? If he mentioned about if every time Sergeant was killed by someone in the community, he got stronger. And I said, how about just giving him like a small bit of damage attenuation every time someone kills him until he gets to just godlike. He can't be fucking killed by anyone in the community.
We actually took Valkyr's invulnerability and gave it to Sergeant. There's your rework.
There we go.
Bingo.
I actually wasn't going to say Sergeant, though.
Yeah.
Well, like I mentioned, the globe keeps on spinning. So wherever the pockets of heat and cold find themselves with our forecasting, we will attend to next. And I do appreciate this totally civil conversation where friends have gathered to totally be normal. But I have to go. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I knew you had to go at half or oh fuck, it's actually penta. Jesus, you've stayed way longer than I was expecting.
That's because I love you so much. And
well, we will hopefully see you guys at TennoCon. So,
what do you mean, hopefully?
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully the plane makes it there.
Oh
So,
my god! Why are you wishing that on my...
Okay.
Oh my God.
I have to hop to. I have a call with someone. Kidman.n.
Yeah. That's Niall. That's Niall. He's from accounts.
From accounts.
It's a Destiny gun.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Yeah. Well, I didn't know, and I thought because
if she goes, like, we'll stick around and maybe ask Megan a question or something.
I didn't. I apologize. I thought that was it because I know Megan said she had meetings as well. So fucking hang me out to dry.
Well, you left. So
yeah, I do apologize. I do apologize, right? I do apologize.
Who gives a shit about my commentary, all right?
That is.
Well, clearly we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't.
No, you do. Potato.
I do.
You know he's lying when he goes high pitched. All right. That's how you know he's lying. I do. I do.
Well, I don't have any more questions anyway. That was literally the last question. Was literally if you could rework any Warframe boss, who would it be? That was literally.
Oh, I get to pick. If I could pick, and not because this boss is like bad by any means, I just like I love Lephantis.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Like, and I think that they're just like underloved, and like they've been around for a hot minute. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like I think that I just think that could be so much better nowadays.
Would you add more mechanics and then change it like visually overhaul as well, or is it just like you could keep it in the same structure where you shoot like the fleshy bits and?
I think like I mean this is like a pipe dream, right? This is like we have all the time, we have all the resources. Like I would give it a whole reskin. Like Lefantis is
Yes.
10 years old. Like
at least,
ugly.
yeah.
hey, what
It's ugly. It's
Well,
fine.
it's supposed to be, isn't it? It's supposed to be.
Well, it was designed after you, so it makes sense.
Yeah, because I've got
You're
3
talking to
heads.
Potato,
I've
right?
got 3 heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, she took offense to that quick.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure you weren't talking about me. Right?
You
No,
know,
I just think like I'm a big fan of like bosses with phases, and that was the first boss that we did the like fall to the floor phase thing, and so I was like, yeah, I love it. So I think it could just be more exciting. I think visually could use an update, like not like and reinvent the wheel, but we have so many cool infested designs now. It's like what could we really spice
so
that
he's
up with?
he's outdated.
Yeah, it just needs a little love because I love different boss phases, and I thought that was fun and exciting. And now you just like it's a boss that you don't have to do once you're done doing whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have to circle back around to him.
Yeah. And when's the last time you played Lefantis?
That's a good question.
Because you don't have to, like, and that's fine. But
yeah, I think just when he was out, actually, you probably killed him a few times for resources, and then I left it at that.
And that's fair.
I mean, if we could be picky, probably the same model, right? Hematite in
same thing, pretty much. Yeah.
That would be like the last time, but like, it's been a while.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like I said, that was like 10 years ago. So the game is so different 10 years later. So what could we do with that? I'm
sure you guys have that sense of feeling in a lot of things, right? Like 10 years later, you look back on so many things and go, God, I would change this. I could improve that. I would change this. But obviously,
you're limited by time
and resources right now. It's so hard to balance. But
well, and that's how Vor came into play, right? It's like it's the first boss you encounter. Everyone has to encounter Vor, and what's that experience like? And how can we make it more teachable? How can we make it not sexy is the wrong word. I don't know why I keep saying
that. Want to make Vor sexy? Just out in a mankini, that's it.
Oh my God.
I mean, the guy's got his belly button out already. Like, how sexy can you get? So I don't know. It's more so just like, how do you freshen that up? And there might be something for veterans to do with that. I don't know. Pablo and his thing.
Yeah. How is the new boss fight? Like for new players, how's it going to look for new players? Is he going to kick their arse?
No. Like, there's nothing about it that is going to make it like. That's what you don't want. You don't want the first boss to like disappoint or like make you sad of like, oh, I fucking suck.
Instantly killed.
Yeah. You're like,
you need to come up on screen instead of being like Dark Souls saying you died. It needs to just say you suck.
Log off.
Uninstall. It gives you a button to uninstall.
Yeah.
No, like it's not like a make it harder. It's honestly just make it more fun. And like again, that boss fight has been around for 1,000,000 years, and now it has also kind of different phases where you do one phase of him and then you have to like traverse a bit more. And then what I love about this is it gives me the Zelda vibes a little bit, where his phase 2 is like you go into a new room and he's on platforms and there's like an electric field and stuff that you have to avoid. So it's giving that like Zelda was it the water temple with the
because you did show a very early kind of version of the arena room, didn't you, on one of the dev streams? He's also got
so he's got a whole
electric
new tile,
balls.
He's got a whole new it's electric balls, and I think it's like an electric field. Like you want to stay on the podiums or whatever. So it gives you, again, just trying to teach you that like traversal and not just stand and whack and stuff like that. So it's a teaching moment.
Veterans are just going to jump in, shoot him in the head, though, and that'll be.
Well, that's what you think.
Damage attenuation for new players, though.
But maybe there's
mechanics,
a different mode. I don't know.
There's a romance system, so you gotta talk to him daily, build up your kin.
Oh, shit. You got it. That's the sexy part of it.
Oh my God.
Instead of getting the kiss every New Year's, you get something, you get Vor.
You get a belly button kiss.
Oh.
Lint. Just fluff.
That'd be gross.
What, you don't think he showers? Why do you assume he's dirty?
Have you looked at him? He's cloned flesh. He rots.
Yeah.
There's moisturizer. Come on.
I don't think the
Granio moisturizer?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, just
That's it. That's
you
it.
know, get a bit dry here, mate.
Oh,
Just a little saliva
just
goes
a
a
little
long way.
bit.
Oh god. Don't quote me
That's
on that.
gross.
It'll be interesting to see what new players think when they finally get to fight him.
Yeah, like I mean, for new players who have never experienced it, obviously we're excited to see what that feels like. I think anyone who's ever played the Vor fight, veterans, mid-level players, whatever, should go in and just like see what's new and different and
Yeah.
just vibe it out. Again, it's not going to make you want to play the Vor fight every single
No,
day.
no, but
all
it's
day.
you're
That's
still going
not
to
the
get to
vibe.
see what's new, what's
Yeah.
changed since the time you were a new player and you fought Vor. You know. So-
Exactly. And I think that's cool. Like something that you have nostalgia with, like back in the day, is like I remember when Vor was standing in a bubble. Like
Oh God, yeah.
now he's different.
Gods. I think the one thing that I would just love to continue to see, obviously, again, I know it's going to take time and resources and whatnot, is that when you did the Aura Worm, you did the normal fight, and then you did Still Path, and the fight changed. Mechanically, the fight
Yeah, it was-
insides is so much better than just the normal fight. I really enjoyed that one. I'm not going to talk about the rewards. I wish the rewards were a little bit scaled better, but with Vor, like, I think that's what you guys are planning to do with some of the bosses, like
Yeah,
they're gonna
having a
have
phase
normal,
2. Yeah.
and then but like I was saying, when you get to like Steel Path, it'll be like different, maybe an extra mechanic or something might change. Or
I will say that there is obviously the normal path Vor, but if you do fight him in a difficult setting. Oh, hold on.
do you like the fan? Oh,
Wait, is that a brand new one?
I think you're one upping me already. Like, yeah, it's not a contest.
Oh wow.
Oh, shit. Are we gonna get one of those?
Oh, nice one. You won't need that other fan. You won't need that other
Yeah,
fan.
well,
Maybe
I
you had
mean,
the Rob
What is
Danny's.
that thing? That's
That's-
been through it.
She's belittling your fan, dude. It's like it's
Yeah,
frayed.
it's,
It's frayed.
Like, look
There's
at
bits hanging off it.
I mean, it's a beautiful art piece.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a gift from my wife, so you've just insulted me. I'm just gonna.
Honestly, as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I was like, "Damn, what if that's an heirloom?" And I just
this was my great grandma who
Yeah.
passed it on many generations, and she fought over this.
That's a picture
and
of
then
her
she
on the front
gave
of
her
it.
life for it. Eat fresh, dude.
Yeah.
It's-
Subway's
the
not
bread
even. It's
smells
not. It's not a bread. It's not bread.
It's not a bread.
No, it's
do you
been
mean?
so Subway tried to classify themselves as a bread in Ireland, and it went through the courts, and the court said there's too much sugar in it, so it's technically a cake. So they were doing it for
Are you
tax.
serious?
Yeah, they were doing it for
It's
tax
a cake.
purposes. Yeah, you're doing it for tax purposes, so they pay less tax when it's a bread, but because it's got such a high sugar content, the courts in Ireland classified it as a cake, as a bun, as something like that. So
Well, but doesn't it depend on which type of bread?
no, all the breads have the same kind of content of sugar in them, apparently.
Like the level of sugar classifies it as
A cake, yeah. So so it's not actually a bread. It's not good for you. It's unhealthy.
Well, good thing I'm gluten free.
The fact that thing
Oh
just
my-
wobbled. The fact that thing just
I didn't like the way you.
wobbled.
Oh no! This is your intro.
It's disgusting. Like
Yeah, that is.
I'm not gonna yuck your gum. You know?
Enjoy your lunch.
Jesus
Enjoy your lunch,
Christ.
Megan.
Enjoy your yum.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Right, take
See
it
you
easy.
later.
Take it easy.
Bye.